Hello everyone, in this video we want to assemble the Dynatest 3031 LWD. Let's start with the main part of the unit, which is the brain of the unit. In this part we have the computer and the Bluetooth module. On the computer of the unit we have 4 connections. The first one goes to the load cell, which is the unit to measure the applied load. The second one is the connection to the main or center geophone, which is this part, that is the part to measure the deflection. Basically the geophone measures the applied velocity and integrates it once to get the surface deflection. We would be able to add up to 2 external geophones. Here are the external geophones, so we can just easily hook them up and we would be able to measure the deflection at radial distances. The plate of the LWD is a modular plate. So basically we have this inner plate, which is a 150 millimeter plate, followed by a 100 millimeter plate is the main plate, and then it follows by a 150 millimeter plate, and then we have the 300 millimeter plate here. We can also switch to the 200 millimeter plate, so we can basically do testing with 100, 150, 200 and a 300 millimeter plate. But to make it even much easier in the field to switch between 2 plate sizes, we have a unique dual plate system between the 150 and the 300 millimeter plate. So basically in the field we have the capacity to switch between the 2 plates very easily without any need to a screwdriver. So here we have the 2 plate sizes engraved, the 300 and the 150 millimeter. In order to do testing with a 300 millimeter plate, we'll just make sure to have this notch placed here on the 300 millimeter part, so we can just easily switch between the 2 plates. When we are at the 300 millimeter, we'll just rotate and lock these 3 locks. Rotate and lock. By doing so, the outer plate is engaged and it works as a whole system. If you notice, the plate on the LWD is an annulus plate. So basically the geophone here is measuring the deflection directly on top of the surface. In our case it's usually the soles. If we want to measure the plate, the deflection of the plate, we can switch the annulus plate to a solid plate with this plug. Basically we just need to unscrew and remove this geophone and lock the main geophone with this plug. By doing so, we'll have a solid plate, and when we do a drop, the geophone will measure the deflection of the whole plate. Alright, so let's put back our main geophone and move to the next step. The next step would be to apply the buffers. We have buffers in 2 different sizes and 2 different colors. The thinner one and the thicker ones. The 2 colors, the black and gray, they come with different stiffnesses. The black ones are softer while the gray ones are stiffer. So with different combinations of the 2, we can have different stiffnesses for the buffers. With a 10 kilogram weight, we usually use this combination, but with the additional weights, you would be able to make the buffer stiffer. So make sure to first add the thinner buffer and then the thicker one, and make sure to have these little circles face up. Alright, so the next step is to add the weight. Here, this is the default 10 kilogram weight, but we also have 2 additional 5 kilogram weights that we can stack on top, and we would be able to do testing with just the 5 kilos or the 10 kilos or the 15 and the 20. So the next step would be to add the shafts. The Dynatest LWD comes with an engraved shaft that has all the drop heights in inches, so if it makes it very easy in the field to set a drop height. We'll first add first shaft, then we'll add the next shaft. So basically, since it's engraved, we can have different drop heights, we can have different drop weights, and we can have different diameters, so we can have multiple combinations of the load. And since we have a load cell, we can actually measure that load, so there's no assumption here. The last step would be to add the grip. Alright, so we can add the grip at a certain height. I'm just gonna place it at 21, but it goes as high as 33 inches. And at the end, we will be able to just release the drop weight and do some measurements. To do so, we need to unlock the safety switch and then pull this grip system. And we'll just apply the load very easily. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we'll do the connection between the LWD and the Bluetooth module, and we do some measurements. Thank you for watching.